Do you want to have a very solid gambit that could ruin your opponents early on the board, or maybe even mating them in a couple of moves and destroying their position early on the board? Or you can maybe even just choke your opponent to death with your own pawns, which is very spacious. And that is what I'll be discussing today, and here's how you can dominate as white with it. E4, E5, knight to F3, knight to C6. Okay, folks, we so far have the most common response right now. So, folks, we're gonna initiate this gambit by playing bishop to c4, the Italian game. And so they might go here. We actually do not sacrifice a piece, but a pawn on this side of the board. Not in the middle or not here. I'm gambiting this. You will see why. They can either take with the bishop or the knight. And so, folks, if they take the bishop, we're gonna attack. And if they take with the knight, the same thing, we're gonna attack. And so, folks, what if they first take with the bishop? Let's go for that option first. We will go pawn to c3 and attack that bishop. The bishop has two ways to go. It cannot go here because, first of all, why would you develop if you're gonna undevelop your bishop anyway? A lot of people might go just here. But there's something wrong with that because after we go pawn to b4, trying to challenge their own pawn in the center, they might take. But that is really great because now we have so much space in the center. If they don't take the pawn, they might go here and develop their bishop. That's fine because we will go for the very powerful move queen to b3, having this very own battery to take the pawn on f7. A lot of people actually go knight to a5, which attacks the queen and attacks the bishop, disregarding the fact that we are gonna do something to them. And that something is bishop to f7. That is a check to the king. You cannot take the queen on b3. And so they will have to move the king. If they go here, that's mate. Because after knight here taking on e5, they take back. This is mate with the queen on e6. But folks, what if they don't do that? Of course, there are many bridges here, so they might go queen to f8. What we will do is go queen to a4, and if they take back, we will just take back. Nothing great has happened yet, but we expose their king, and plus they cannot castle. Very bad disadvantage about it. We have so much space, and it's easy for us to play. Meanwhile, black has their own pieces in the background very passively. What if they go knight to h6 instead, protecting the pawn that we're attacking with the bishop right now? So folks, what are we gonna do here is go and take the knight on h6, trading the knight. And so if they take, it won't be really much similar, but still, it's very effective to take the f7 pawn because after we check them, we not only gain back our material, which was a while ago, but also they have two options. King to d7, mate in 1. But if they go back, king to f8, we'll just go slide back the bishop to h5. And you know what? Maybe some people will just ignore this. The fact that the queen did just steamroll down there and mate them. And so if they go for something like this, this is mate. It will be very hard for black to stop that mate. Still, we got the advantage according to computer, so it's really hard for them to stop the mate. So folks, let's go back to a few couple of moves. Let's go to the next bridge or line that we're gonna face, which is bishop to a5. Now folks, this is the most popular move of all, which almost all of your opponents will play. And so folks, we will go pawn t4 and attack the pawn on e5, challenge it again. If they take the pawn, we are actually not gonna take the pawn back on d4. You know why? Because we're gonna castle. That's crazy, I know. Why would you castle where they just took a free pawn at you, right? I mean, we're gonna castle because we're gonna let the rook involved in. Second, we're gonna castle because it unpins the king from this pawn over here. So it's really a useful move. So what will happen is that if they take, we're not gonna be left with a disadvantage because there's another trap I am going to show you. And that trap is queen to b3. The same line to attack the pawn on f7. But folks, they have got two options to protect this. They could go here or here, and which most people do. If they go over here, queen to f6, no worries. We have a trap. Pawn to e5 attacks the queen. And so if they go and take that pawn on e5, thinking that we can take back and they can just take back, we will go rook to e1, a tactical error for the king to be pinned on his knight on e5, which is crazy. And now for the next three couple of moves, we will go. And so folks, a lot of people here have a big mistake. They will mostly likely go here, and the fact that it opened up to the king to this diagonal, they're not gonna like it because of the fact that queen to a4 is a fork to the bishop. And so, folks, they have 3 ways to go to, or maybe even cover that with a bishop. It doesn't matter because we're just gonna go back here and take the bishop. And so, folks, we just won a free bishop. Plus, we're gonna have so much activity and we have so much advantage according to the computer. Believe it or not, this position is very, very hard to play with black. We already have our rooks, and this rook is gonna come out in a while if we go and try to develop our knight. Meanwhile, they got very disadvantaged there because of the fact that their position isn't really open to attack our king, and so we will just use our rooks to bulldozer his position because our position is more open than his. And so, folks, this is why this position is very useful. They get +1 point. So what? That doesn't mean it's an advantage. We're like 2.4 points up according to computer. And so, folks, we will win purely on that game. But, folks, what happens if they go for the other line? What if they move the knight instead to take the pawn on b4? This is another line. You should memorize this because maybe a lot of people actually do this. Pawn to c3 will attack the knight. We will go and attack the knight. They must go back or else they will undevelop or get demolished. We cannot take the free pawn because, of course, when we take the free pawn, this is too much of a threat. Fork, fork, and of course, another fork, which is insane. We're not gonna do that. So, folks, what we're gonna do is if they take the pawn over here on b4, we are gonna go here, push, carefully going back that knight, and we are gonna go here and take the center. And so, folks, we just obtain the center from there, and if they take, we will have a very good center, and the game goes on. And they already have lost in tempo and development that we can just develop. And we have so much development and so much space over here. It's impossible for you to not win with this position. I mean, you got 0.8 plus advantage according to computer. And so, folks, this is controlled, and so if you control the center, you control the game, in which you do right now, and you're just gonna shove your opponent's pieces using your pawn with this center right here. And folks, I already showed you they have the option of this, but they have another option. This move with queen to e7. And so what that move does is try to protect yet again this one, but also try to develop his own knight. And a lot of people actually do that, and so we're gonna go look into it. First, folks, we're gonna take the pawn on c3 and try to develop our pieces. And after that, folks, they will go knight to f6, we will go knight to d5. Here, you can see we already dominating because of the fact that we are controlling so much squares in his territory and try to take the knight on f6. If they try to trade their knight back, there's something wrong with that. Because if they take, we take back, attacking their knight. Not only we are attacking their knight, we have this sneaky tactic of trying to pin them. And if they move their knight, they have lost already. So they have to take this, and then we're just gonna take, and we're gonna win that game. But folks, what if that doesn't happen? But instead, what if that not happens? What if the knight doesn't take the knight on d5? Folks, if they go here and take the free pawn on e4, it's their choice to do that, so we're gonna look into it. We have the pure advantage when we go bishop to g5, just because of the fact that we already have so much development and they have none. We sacrifice so much, like pawns, but we still got the advantage, like 2.4% according to computer. But still though, for example, like if they castle, we will take the knight on f6. If they take back, we will go and just take with the knight on f6, and you can see that this is already a fork, and it's very, very tricky for the opponent to lose this because of course we have already so many pieces on the attack while their pieces are so passive that they cannot even move. Look at this, they get only one open line on their side of the board while us has so many open lines. The queen can just take this, of course, but still though, we will win the whole material and we get +1 point after that. And now we are going to literally obliterate black quickly with these pieces, and we're so much active than his, while his rooks are already on the back rank, while us are ready to bulldoze his king on the files. Anyways, alright folks, I think that's all of the lines I think I have shown you in this video. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and if you enjoyed and learned something in this video, please like and subscribe if you want to. And so folks, and of course there is a new Discord server yet again on the description. See you guys in the next video, and yeah, peace out. This opening is so aggressive. I recommend you to try it though, and deep theory, and look at other YouTubers and what their perspective are about this opening. And see you guys in the next video. Peace out.